We used to just always buy my father Aramis cologne. I mean, the poor man, he could open up a closet and there was just like stacks of Aramis cologne. Hey, Daphne Brogdon from Cool Mom. So it is a big gift buying time around here. We have a ton of birthdays. And of course, Christmas is in the offing. And I'm not great at thinking of things I give sometimes. I'm wondering if it's like guys are better at it, girls are better at it. My husband and I are equally thoughtless. Like, we give each other sweaters.
I'm not really a person to make big generalizations, or I really don't like making the comparison between men and women in a lot of things, because I do think that men and women have different strengths in different areas. But for this one, I'm going to go straight down the line of generalization and say women are better gift givers than men.
I think, generally speaking, I tend to be more thoughtful of a gift giver. I tend to really sort of try to think about what it is my friend or family really is into, and buy something that kind of speaks to that, even if it's not something I particularly would like myself.
Interesting, when this topic came up and I read it aloud to my boyfriend, he immediately jumped in with men, hands down, no question, no contest. And I looked at him and I said, boy, I've never been with a man who's a fabulous gift giver, but I think it's not gender related. I think it's completely dependent on how you were raised and what your empathy level is, and what your ability is to observe and retain things like what somebody likes and what they'll wear and what they won't wear and things like that.
Like, I want to be that thoughtful person. Like, even when I get a decent gift, like, it's all I can do not to hand it to him in a bag, you know? My husband wraps presents in newspapers. Granted, it looks good, but I really think it's neat, those people like my sister Cecily, who not only give really thoughtful gifts, but then we'll do this amazing wrapping and like a really thoughtful card, and like nothing even that was, you know, like store-bought. Like, she takes a photo and makes it into a card, and you know what I mean? Like, people who really put some time and craft into it.
Marcus is more of a, well, he's more likely to buy something that he thinks is really cool for himself and give that. And sometimes that works, right? Like, so because he's got really, really good taste. So, so it works sometimes, but not all the time. I will agree with you though, Daphne, that, and here I go generalizing, in my experience, women are a lot easier to shop for.
I will say that men have gotten me the showstopper gifts, the rock star gifts. Men are really good at that. And I think it's partly because men procrastinate and they have to work last minute and think like, oh my God, I have 2 days to buy her a gift for her birthday. And I have to really, like, I feel so bad for waiting this long, so I have to get her something really wonderful because I have to feed my own guilt.
Now, I have to say that my boyfriend appears to be a very nice gift giver. For instance, on our first date, I got very lost getting to his house, and it was a couple days around my birthday, and as soon as I walked in for our second date, he handed me a gift, and I said, you just met me, what are you doing? He said, just open it, open it, open it. And it was a Garmin Navigator. It was a GPS system for my car. He said, I don't ever want to go through having to give directions like that again. But it was a really thoughtful gift, and he knew I would never buy it for myself. It was just very sweet and very thoughtful.
Before photography actually became part of my profession, it was a very big hobby of mine, and he would buy me really wonderful photography gear, and gear that I would never have bought myself, even if I wanted it, because I'm always worried about price, and he was like, oh, forget price, so you got it. So as a result, I've got some really great gear. I have this lens. I weep every time I use it. It's such a beautiful lens. But recently, and he bought it for me, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago, and it's still available. And I saw it the other day on the website, and I choked when I saw the price. I was like, I cannot believe. I mean, I really, 4 years later, I got mad at him. I'm like, I cannot believe you spent that money on the lens. But I have this great lens, so I can't, you know, really argue.
My husband gave me a ring at my birthday, which was shortly after my son was born. So it was kind of birthday slash push present, and it was Tiger Eye, and it was because Vivian called the baby in when he was inside of me Tiger. So it was sort of cute. Whatever.
I think that as I get older, most of the gifts that I give nowadays have to do with things that I can experience with the other person. So now I get, like, instead of like buying my friend a present, I will buy her a cooking class that we can take together. And that's actually something I recently did for one of my really good friends. And we had a ball and it was a lot of fun, and I will remember that way more than, you know, a bad scarf.
So is it a generational thing? Is it a gender thing? I'm not sure where it falls. Where does it fall in your life?
Join the Momversation at momversation.com.